Good afternoon, participants. So it's 2 o'clock and it's session 4 of this 5-day FDP on research methodology. So in this session 4, our speaker will be speaking about challenges about writing research publications. So let me give you a brief introduction about our resource person of today's session. So our resource person is Dr. Indrajit, who is a professor of Department of Chemistry at Hindustan Institute of Technology and Sciences. He has received his PhD in Applied Chemistry from MS University of Baroda. Since then, he has occupied many different positions in India and abroad. After completing his PhD, he has been a postdoctoral researcher in Japan, and then for more than 10 years, he has worked in Taiwan in Academy of Sinica and National Taiwan University. So after his stint abroad in 2009, he came back to India and he established his own research group in Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham University. After that, in 2021, Professor Sean located to Hindustan Institute of Technology and Sciences in Chennai, where his current research group focuses on development of various nanomaterials for advanced energy applications. As you can see, he's an expert in energy applications. You can see from his first slide.
Then let's one by one. I have to clarify what are the things, or we should understand that what is clarity. Basically, clarity is an important quality of any research topic, anything, whatever that you can do with chemistry, physics, biology, or any other engineering topic also, wherever. Clarity is one of the important part. Then next one, easily understandable. Whatever the topic you have to choose, first of all, you should understand, then you explain it to others, then they also should understand easily. That is also another part. Other can easily understand that and what is the purpose and what is the nature of that particular research. And we should avoid the distraction of research, because maximum time these things happen. We start with something, then after sometimes later we found we basically distracted from that particular route. If we see, if we found a tree, basically tree build up based on the root, okay, original root. Now, if you distracted from the originality of your research route, then obviously you don't have any understanding or you don't have any clarity of the research topic. That's why we should avoid the distraction process. Research topic to have a single interpretation. Then research topic should be clear in your mind. Then you have to execute, because you understand your understanding, then based on that clarity, you have to execute your research in a proper manner. And then you have to choose that topic without any ambiguity. Okay. And then turn set of whole research methodology by set of process in a directional way. These are the things belongs to clarity of a research, particular research topic. And then next most important part is a well defined, because we have to define, or it should be well phrased, that research topic, and it will initially give you the assurance or as a successful research. And then the research topic should have a single meaning, because if it is a multiple meaning, that means less clarity of that part. We should avoid the multiple meaning of that research topic. Then undefined, because sometimes we're not able to define that particular research topic. Then problem is that you cannot start right up on that particular. That's why it should be well defined. And then another important point for regarding this, that should easy to comprehend. Otherwise, you cannot proceed, because if you not make a one single meaning and define better way or well phrase that topic, how will you start right up that one? Then another important part is systematic investigation. Why it's required? I mentioned in the first part that one bigger challenge is that lot of data is required or lack of data. Lack of data means lack of data, and lack of data means you have to do your research in systematic way that you found you can generate some number of data. Okay, and particularly if you carried out your research in well manner, like you whatever you observe, you have to note it down in your notebook or other way you have to collect the data, then make it you based on the observation in your mind. You have to ask yourself that what is the questions regarding that. Basically, that is called research questions will come. Then some hypothesis also you have to do based on the initial observation and whatever the questions arises in your mind. And then you have to examine the test result. Basically, why it's important? Whatever data you get is correct or not. You have to cross-examine of all these things, and based on that, you can do one conclusion. And if you satisfy based on your conclusion, then you start to write a report, basically report based on that data, that so and so date you did, we did so and so experiment and we found so and so observation. And after examination of so and so result is if there is any deviation or there is any questions also you have to solve it. And based on that, you put your data in a notebook or notepad or computer as a report. That is the first part for the data accumulation. Okay, then plan actively, because all these things you have to do based on your better planning. And another important part is the reproducibility, because you might be get one data today, you have to cross check that data that is correct or not. That's why you have to repeat your experiment. And based on that, if you satisfy with your data and it's repeat with your previous data, then we say that that particular study is reproducible, because any kind of written format or written journal, they ask for reproducibility. Basically, they judge the reproducibility of your data. Then next one is the language. This is the most important part of manuscript writing or research topic selection or your explanation or conclusion. Any part is one of the important medium, basically. Then if it should be very simple, it can be understandable for anyone in a straightforward manner. And there are certain technical terms we should use, because without technical term you cannot explain in scientific community for better understanding or better citation. Then another important part is third point, avoid some unethical term, because sometimes some terminologies are there we should not use in our manuscript writing part or report writing part, particularly in scientific report or scientific manuscript writing. Then another things, directly or indirectly, willing or unwillingly, we should avoid in the research problem. Like we cannot judge anything that, okay, it should come this, that we can predict something, but we should not prejudge few things. Then any research topic when you are choosing or research paper, particularly your research manuscript writing, start from the research title itself. That's why first you have to find out a suitable title of your work or of your research. And particularly if we see that we have to follow some of the rules for it, and we can follow either in a sentence case or title case. We can use both way, we can choose a title. Then what are the component in a title? Basically, it should be informative, particular topic we are discussing, it will provide some basic information. Then provide an overview. Basically, it will give you overview. Suppose we can talk about climate change, or we can talk about some particular theoretical work, theoretical study, or we can talk about some other topic, that it should be give some overview of that. That component should be there in the title. Then include the main and specific study, particular that suppose we say climate change. Climate change, a lot of things are there. Climate change is a broad topic. Inside the climate change, a lot of things you can talk about that CO2 concentration, or it will environmental pollution, or other things also you can include. Those are the those are the specific keyword is correlate with the particular topic, that particular research topic. Hello. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. There's a small disturbance in between, but now I can hear you.
Okay, okay. It's okay.
Participants, can you please mute yourself? Indrajit, you can speak. You are unmuted. You can unmute and speak.
Sir, can you please zoom on the screen?
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, sir.
We can hear you.
Now you can hear you.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Please can.
Share your screen again. Yes, okay. Can
you
you do a
zoom, sir?
slideshow? Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Basically, initially you have to give a overview of the overview in the. It will reflect inside the title. Then that overview should include the specific keyword of your research. During that part, basically the deep yellow color indicate the main things. We should avoid the ambiguous, some technical term or some abbreviation we should avoid. Basically what happens, some short forms are there. Maybe it's not widely applicable, or everyone is not aware about those abbreviation or short term. We should avoid those things. And apart from that, this way, if we construct a title, it will reflect your research, and obviously it will help you to construct your manuscript. That this is the most important part, and this also judge your whole research things also can give you the overall idea about your research topic. And particularly first one, there are several ways you can arrange your title. Like one is the interrogative way, like questions, form of a questions, you can make your title. Like one example, can efficiency of solar cell be improved by magnesium doping in metal oxide layer? This is one way. Same title, you can make it in a different way, that is called declarative or assertive way, like magnesium doping in metal oxide layer improve solar cell efficiency, or improve efficiency of solar cell by magnesium doping in metal oxide layer. This way also you can write your title. Then another third option, indicative or descriptive, like effects of magnesium doping in metal oxide layer on efficiency of solar cells. Now, among all these three ways, basically third one, maximum time, we are following the third one. Rarely we are using the question mark way of our title, but there are certain advantage or disadvantage are there. Suppose you start a questions of this, then your understanding about that particular topic is much more clear, and this will help you to understand, and this will help the reader of that particular research manuscript. They can easily to understand from the beginning itself. And then second one, basically this way also we can found some cases like improve efficiency. Basically this way also we are writing some of the top title. Then another part is the importance of that particular research topic. How important is that one? Selecting any research topic, then what is the existing importance of the topic? Topic should be current and importance. Suppose you are choosing, you are starting your work now 2023, and you choose a topic that is very old. Like some people did work 1960, 1970. Obviously, those are the topic of a research, but less importance. And any journal or any scientific community, those are publishing your research, they try to involve in the current topic. They always focus the current topic. Therefore, when you choose your research topic, it should be current based on the current research area. And normally we should avoid the outdated topic because it will not give you maximum benefit, and it will not give benefit to others also. And that's why usefulness of that particular topic is important. How you can choose a current topic or more beneficial topic, the way of choosing that. First of all, you have to study, that is, you have to review some of the literature and discuss with the expert. Then identify your research gap. Basically, if you are able to identify the research gap, what earlier people did and what exactly currently people are doing, and what is the exact requirement, then you can identify the research gap on that particular topic, or we can say the missing scientific understanding. And then based on those things, you can propose a basically propose a topic or novel approach to address that particular, and you have to say based on this way I can fulfill the research gap or particular research topic. Then consider the potential contribution to the field and the society. Then you can connect it to current way, and then based on that you can go ahead on particular research topic. Then in this part also research topic, first step is define the topic. Define the topic means that again based on the review and review after that discussion, and you have to identify some of the important questions of that. Then you have to discuss with some of the expert. Then you can narrow down the topic. Basically, sometimes it's a wider topic. Suppose you consider solar cell. Solar cell, lot of things are there. You can go for complete cell construction, or you can work for some light absorption layer. You can work other technical part. Maybe you can go for single junction to double junction or other way. Similarly, you have to gather all the background information, because this is also another important part of any research, or if you go for publication also, that time editor or reviewer can ask you, okay, what are the background research going on particular topic. That's why you should know about the background information of that particular topic. Then create a research questions, because you have to ask yourself what is the gap of it, or why you are doing this particular topic. Then you make a statement based on that. Then you have to evaluate the sources and then cite, and then you have to write a paper. Basically, this is the last part, writing a paper. Now, how you framework these things, because all these things we understand that a lot of things are there, but everything you can make a single frame. The whole things you can put together and you find a single frame. And there are certain steps are there making framework for a research topic. Like first of one is the brainstorming research topic, then preliminary literature review, and develop your research questions and formulate your theory or problem statement. Now, brainstorming research topic means you can toss up some questions on based on the literature review, and like you can ask, you can discuss with some expert, that particular research expert. Then you ask them some question, you can give some answer, or even you can arrange a panel discussion. There itself, you can start a discussion on that topic, related topic, and what is the interest of that, what is the current scenario, what is the future aspect of this, and how far research already done, and what is the next step we should go forward in. This way, we can create a brainstorming research session, and based on that, you can create you can identify a research topic. Then second one is the preliminary literature review, because you can identify, okay, show also topic we have to work out, and then you start the literature review. Literature review, basically whatever the accessible or availability of the sources, you can find the journal from your library. Similarly, you can find online sources also there. From any sources, you collect the information. Particular, there are a lot of societies also there. They are publishing the journals. Based on that, you collect the information. Then from there, you can narrow down your topic, basically a wide topic to narrow topic, and then figure out the specific problem of statement, that is the research question, because this again and again will come. Any places, find out the research topic, research title, or even manuscript writing time also, you have to figure out the problem of the statement. Then third one, develop your research questions. Based on all this initial preliminary literature review, you have to develop your research question, particularly why you want to do this and what is the significance of that. And then formulate your theory, or based on that, you have to make a plan. That whole thing is called the framework to select a research topic. Now, in brainstorming, I already initially mentioned about that brainstorming. What is brainstorming? Basically, when reading or studying about a topic of your interest, always have a pen in your hand and take down the key point simultaneously. Who knows, any idea can be magical key to your research, because sometimes what happens, maybe some other person gives some comment, you have to note down those things. And based on that, you can create your idea, and you can develop a better idea based on that understanding. This way, in this session, we say is a brainstorming session. And during that part, you can try to think out of the box. Basically, what happened when we are review some of the literature, we basically think in a same manner. Then thing is that your research questions quality will not improve. That's why you have to think little bit out of box, and sometimes you have to think that outside domain of that particular and fix certain unsolved puzzle, because any research topic is there some portion is solved portion, or some portion is unsolved. Those things you have to find out, and revolutionary ideas should arise to solve those things. You have to try the things, and you can think different way, and you can create a, because you can find out the perspective of those different angles and how to tackle those problems. This is called the out of box thinking. Then after all this brainstorming and out of box thinking, then you can discuss with your partners. Basically, this is another important part, that maybe your colleague or your friend, you have to discuss on that topic. They will give you some constructive suggestion, or sometimes destructive suggestion. I can say criticism is also an important part of choosing a research topic. Because maximum time we found that if someone criticizes on your topic or on your research, that means that particular person or don't like your research, but it's not a true thing. Sometimes you can take that if someone criticizes your topic, you have to try to solve those things, and you have to find out, find out better solution for that, and you take all these things as a positive comment. Then only your research topic will be a better topic, and you can improve your current research also. And obviously, every time you have to ask that why, because this question mark, don't accept anything blindly without understanding anything. Before selecting something, ask yourself why I am choosing this topic, why I should do this, or why I'll proceed like this, why I should not go like that. This kind of questions is required for a research and implemented in the better research topic, because to publish your research in a high impact journal doesn't mean that anything you can submit and they can accept. No, first criteria, you have to choose a research topic should be current, good enough, or it has a current importance. And obviously, the impact of this research also create a benefit for the society. These kind of factors are there. That's why questions always important to justify your research, and it should be logic. It should be covered by some logical answer also, and it should be the logical answer will come from some discussion with your research colleague or in your workplace also. Then most important part is the logical things. Whenever you choose anything, it should be logical in your scientific community or anywhere else. It should be logical, because in scientific manuscript writing also, whatever the statement you have to give, those things should be logical. That means research should be carried out in a purposeful manner without any biases. And logical conclusion give you basically meaningful insight. This is the important meaningful insight, because anything you can get it, that may not be the beneficial for that particular journal or that particular scientific community. That's why the whatever the conclusion is you are giving for your community, it should be meaningful or it should be constructive. Then you should know that how to write a research questions, because now we understand that what are the things actually related to research. Now thing is that how to construct a research questions. Then maximum time, what are the things we have? Some obviously topic, we select a topic. Now we have to focus on that topic, and we have to talk with some specialized person on that topic, or we have to go through some of the literature of specific one. Then we can make an argument with some others who are working on this. Based on that, you create a research questions, and that is the most important part. Basically, I can say this is the foundation to start a research. Basically, research question is the foundation to start of any kind of research. If your research questions is correct, then whatever follow-up work you have to do for that particular research questions, or to give the answer of particular questions, then obviously it will give a positive direction of that particular research. And I personally believe that it will give a good impact on that particular research community. That means choose your topic, do some preliminary reading about the current state of field, narrow your focus to specific part, identify the research problem that you will address. Then you have to understand, because we should create a research questions, right? What are the strong characteristics is required for that particular questions? One is should be specific, then it should be feasible, or we can say logical. Then there should be the originality. This is another part of any researcher, that whenever you start your research topic or research anything, there should be some originality, maybe 10%, 5%, 50%. It's not like every time 100% originality, but some portion should be there. Then it should be relevant. Then complex and arguable. Then researchable. Then focused. These are the strong part together, merge together, and they can make a good research question, because these are the component for a research questions. Then another thing, because I try to explain the few things, like first, I try to explain that what are the characteristics required for a research, then how you can select a research topic. For research topic, you can select a research questions. Now, what is review process? Because before knowing the things, you should know how they did. Basically, any publication community, basically they follow up this. There are certain steps. That's called the peer review processes. Okay, basically there are certain, every publication agency, they're maintaining certain rules based on their criteria. Now they made those rules basically to accelerating the quality or integrity of that particular community, and obviously it will help to increase the integrity of particular that subject also. And there are certain things that first peer review process is the screening and peer review the preparation based on the journal. The next one, the review by external subject matter expert. Basically, once you submit to editor, then that particular external people can review that one. Then there is some decision, particularly this one followed by the high impact journal. Suppose all of you heard about the Science Nature, and you know that a lot of journals are there like ACS, American Chemical Society, Royal Society of Science, Wiley. But their review process and science or nature journal, their review process little bit different. Normally, if you submit a manuscript in science or nature, then initially it goes to editorial board. There are certain members, they only distributed that manuscript and they discuss on it, and it takes some time, maybe 2 weeks minimum. They review your things internally, and based on that, they decide that it will go for the external review process or not. Then after that, if they feel that that particular subject is relevant or particular data is original, your thought is novel, and your overall means expression, everything is correct, then they follow they just follow the next step. And next step is the external reviewer. They will arrange and they will send it to for the external review process. And after that, they will collect the comment from the external review, and they will take the final decision. And in this particular high impact journal, the editorial board has a complete freedom. They might be or accept the external reviewer comment, or sometimes they cannot accept the external reviewer comment. Everything depends on that particular editorial board. Even maybe external reviewers say, okay, this paper is very good, it's ready for publication for so and so journal. But if that editorial board found that, okay, these comments are not correct, they have a right to change the decision. Even the final decision, they might be reject your paper. And if they accept, then finally it will go for publication, and then they will follow what are the publication norms and those things. Now, in this more simple way, like author submit the article, editor access the article, editor can reject, or he can say that author can here they can send it to reviewer, then reviewer will review. Even there's some editorial review process is there. Editor can collect the information from the reviewer, and based on that rejected or accepted, or here also some comments are there, but some revisions are required or not, and based on that they will accept it. Now this part I want to enter in the most important part, that we should not underestimate our things, that our paper should not go for the high impact journal. I don't believe it. Basically, any paper can reach that high impact publication, but you have to follow certain things to reach that level. What are the things? That mainly editor can see few things like abstract and title, because first of all, once they collect, then next one is the visual information like data and other things, and another important part is the cover letter, because editor will look title and the abstract before deciding to read that paper, and then based on that they get some impression and they will follow up after that. And what basically they will, editor will look that different importance of the research in this particular field, that novelty of that part, and important to the whole readership. And particularly another important part is the cover letter, because cover letter will explain the summary of your research paper. Now, what is the important part? What is the novelty? Because in one page you have to summarize the whole things, and editor can read that, and based on that he can take the decision, and he will read the abstract and he try to correlate, and he will check your background also. And particularly cover letter will contain few things, address the importance of the topic, the significance of the result of the field, highlight the innovation. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Can you mute that?
Yes, it is muted. You can speak.
Okay. Cover letter basically address a few things they will cover, like one is the address of the important topic, then significance of the result of this particular field, highlight the innovation of your particular research, and mention about the adding or previous work, previous reason why you choose that particular journal. You have to justify that, explain why you think that particular research community will get the benefit from this your particular research. And keep the cover letter should be precise and concise. You cannot write 2-page or 3-page cover letter. Try to make everything in 1 page. Then maximize the success of writing cover letter together with the conclusion section in your paper, the cover letter, because maximum time what we are doing, that is not a correct way. We basically copy the abstract and put it there in the cover letter. This is the first wrong approach to write a cover letter. Then better you have to go with these things, why this topic is important, why are these result is significant and key result of this, and submitting why you are submitting. This way you have to explain, then only editor will read and editor will proceed for the next step. Because high impact journal basically editorial acceptance rate is 1%. Even some journal they have a 0.5%. That means suppose one day they collect 100 paper or 100 manuscript. Based on that one manuscript they will collect for the review process. That is called 1% acceptance from editorial board. Now, based on that, those things you have to give the importance of the cover letter. Like if we are doing some research on solar cell, that we have to say that we have fabricated a solar cell with high efficiency and stability using earth abundant metal by using a simple synthetic method, non-toxic precursor, using scalable fabrication procedure with a unique combination materials that increase the fundamental understanding of the photovoltaic device. These actual basically summary of that research you did, and based on that you summarize the things to editor. That's why we say that a cover letter should be concise. And I think these already, I think I covered this part, flowchart. And what is the responsibility they're expecting? High impact journal, like present data honesty, accurately plot, accurately present everything. And there is no fabrication or false data. They are strictly follow these things, and they should find the originality of your data, and you have to precisely arrange your references. You have to maintain the proper citation. You have to check the plagiarism report, because first part they are doing, they are check the plagiarism and try to maintain the minimum plagiarism percentage. I think normally we are following 10 to 15%. Normally we are following, and ACS, RSC, they are also following the same manner. Avoid the fragmentation or reductant publication. Like sometimes we are doing like, okay, one work is there, we have to fragment in two part and we publish in two work. This is also another wrong approach for high impact publication. You can merge together, make a good manuscript, good paper, and combine, you can publish it. And inform the editor or what are the related manuscript, because another wrong approach we normally follow, that we hide some of the relevant manuscript with our regarding our work. Sometimes we feel that if we write this one, editor will reject our paper, but it's not a correct way. We have to inform up to date that, okay, what are the things basically published related to that, and what exactly you did. You have to justify that why you did and why your work is different from the others. Then definitely editor will read your cover letter, and submit at a time only one journal. I think maximum times we also found that some people actually submit simultaneously two journals. This is also another wrong approach. Then another, you have to disclose the conflict of interest, because sometimes what happens, some of your research work is maybe conflict with your some other group, research group, that you have to disclose that so and so researcher they're working on this. Please avoid sending review to those groups. That you can mention, and editor will follow those instructions. And another important part, I think, lot of journals, they are asking you for a suggestion, reviewer suggestion, and maximum times what we are doing, instead of giving the importance of particular topic, we just send our paper to our particular friend or our community. And that also another wrong approach. Basically, editor can find out that you don't have any confidence on your paper. That's why try to give the reviewer name correct way, that who is the field expert. Based on that you can give. That way also give you the good impression in front of editor. And what are editor responsibility? They ensure the efficient, fair and timely manuscript processing, ensure confidentially submitted manuscript, make the final decision accepting or rejecting, base decision, accept or reject only the merits of the manuscript. They judge the merit of the manuscript. This is the most important part. Not use word reported, submitted manuscript. That also we should declare it. Ensure a fair selection of referee, including those suggested or requested exclusion by author. Respond to suggestion of scientific misconduct, because this is also one important part. All the high impact journals, they basically follow up. If they found some misconduct in research, they put you as a red mark, and lifelong you can be unable to publish your paper on that particular journal. And deal fairly with author appeals, because sometimes there is an option that editor or reviewer might be reject your paper with some comment. Then if you found that this comment they did some mistake, there is a another way to approach, that is called rebuttal process. Rebuttal means redecision. You have to approach the editor with a cover letter that we appreciate your review process, and there also you cannot say some wrong word, or you can not judgmental or something. You can request, because you should understand that editor or reviewer, they're basically their job is a thankless job, right? They don't have any intention to reject your paper. You are not your, they are not your enemy. They always try to make a friendship with you. But based on their criteria or rules, they follow their rejection, they do the rejection. That's why when such kind of incident happen, you try to approach politely, and you say that so and so factors we found that maybe reviewer overlooked few things. Based on that, and if possible, you can put some additional data to what are the other comment, and then editor can read your comment, and based on that, if editor feel that okay, something misjudgment happened, they will send it to third reviewer, and after that also there is a chance that your paper might be accepted. Because maximum time, I also noticed a lot of people did that once they submit in some journal, one rejection letter came, they just simply think to switch to another journal without thinking that what are the comments are there. First of all, what are the comments are there? You have to read it. And if you found that you were able to answer those comments, first try to give answer. And based on those comments, if you're able to see that you can add something in your manuscript, obviously you go for it and you revise your manuscript, and then you have to submit to other journal. It will increase the feasibility or scientific importance of your paper. And treat like how to read the referee report, treat as it as a discuss in your paper and one of the top expert in your field. Don't take it personally, because this is the maximum time we did the mistake here, and there is no personal attack. And then remember that everyone is a human. Human mistakes are there. Take every criticism as an opportunity for improvement. That's why you go through it. You try to give the answer. Based on that, those answers, you can improve your manuscript. That is a good opportunity for. That's why reviewer comment you can take as a criticism, and you can make a opportunity for it. And how to read a referee report, because sometimes when you start to solve the referee report, because sometimes we found that 20 questions, even 3 reviewers are there, each one maybe 20 questions, 60 questions. Try to give the answer all. My suggestion, as per my experience in the handling the high impact journal, their expectation is that at least 90 to 95% questions you have to give the answer. If 5% question you are unable to answer, but you can politely give certain explanation, they will accept. But if you are unable to answer 20%, they will never accept those things. And most common reason for rejected paper, your study finding are not significant or novel enough. Your study is too narrow. Your data is not presented well enough, because sometimes your data might be good, but your presentation format is not good. It's not easy understandable for reviewer or editor. You use unsuitable or outdated method. That's also another important criteria. You should not follow that one. Your paper is badly written. That is another part. And particularly high impact journal Science and Nature, I think if you go through their review process, their actual first editorial, some comments are there. They mention that we are not judging the language. Basically, they always respect the science. That's why they respect the data, if editor or reviewer understand your research based on your presentation, even your written format is not good, later they will help you to improve the written part or manuscript, the what you written. And obviously, we always think this is the cartoon basically. This is the process. Basically, you understood that this is the rejection process. That's why they can reject anyway. That you try to write your paper such that less error and better presentable format you have to follow. And for basic rule, have something to say it. Stop as soon as you have said it and give the paper a proper title. Then title and abstract, give it a specific, concise title. Already I discussed this point. And targeting your title, basically you should avoid this point, what effect, which metal, what type of coupling reaction, which aryl alcohols, or instead of that, specific, concise, and contain many keywords. Okay. And obviously, try to tell a story in the cover letter. Basically, editor basically expect these things from you. And here I give an example. Basically, how we can judge, even we can also judge that which one is a high impact and which one is a low impact publication. This is one good journal. It's called Journal of Power Sources. The impact factor is 9.48. And this is the introduction. There is some figure, these things. And then there are some results. And this is also a good journal in electrochemical research. And these are the conclusion. These are the images. Then next one is the Nature Communication. Impact factor is a 17.7. I'll explain few things. Now you can see the differences. This is the presentation in the Nature Communication. This is the presentation format for the compared to previous one. We can easily distinguish these things. And this is the microscopic images and how they presented. Data, everywhere data is there, but presentable formats are different and it is more attractive. And you can judge based on that, that this is really high compared to that. Even 9.9 also very high, but compared to that, this is another level. And this way we have to improve our data presentation. And data presentation is most important part is the data visualization, means how everyone can understand easily your data or everyone can read your data easily. Data visualization basically what does not always paint the clearest picture. And raw data, particularly when we do our experiment, we got some raw data, and raw data does not always tell the most complete story of this, okay, or comprehensive story. And our human mind is very respective to visual information. That's why when you present those data in visual way or some better way, that third party or other people can or reader can easy to understand those things. Data visualization is more powerful tool for communication because you are not present with your manuscript. You send your manuscript or you submit your manuscript to the editorial board, and editorial board judge your data or your manuscript based on the data visualization. And that's why it's the most important part for high impact journal. And data visualization sounds tricky and technical. Don't worry, it's does not have to be. Basically, you have to improve the data quality, presentation quality. And it will help anyone to understand that. Now, what are the types of data visualization? One is the infographics. What is infographics? Infographic is a collection of imaginary charts and minimal text given and the easy to understand overview of the topic. Basically, this representation basically say some of the steps of particular design, and anyone can understand this is the first step, second step, third step. Basically, sometimes we say you represent your data. I think TOC or that we can say table of content or graphical abstract. That can be layman type of concept like statistical infographics, then informational infographic, timeline, process infographic, geographic infographic, like show on different way you can present. Similarly, highlights an important point in a set of data like this. Their important point is a 90%. This one you have to highlight. Then this is the 10%, like waste management type of things. This way, if you represent your data, it will be more attractive for the editor as well as reviewer. Then chart, how you represent your chart. Basically, in the simplest term, a chart is a graphical representation of data. Chart is to visual symbol like line, bar, dot, slice, and icons. And there are many ways. This is one example. You can easily understand the what they want to say for that particular graph. Then diagram also, and basically it should be simple and visual representation and informative. And diagram can be 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, both way you can make, and it may be flowchart, mind map, then tree diagram, then other like wireframe diagram, then site map, use case diagram, anything you can do it. And sometimes there are another way, because recently I also found this kind of way of presentation in graphical abstract, even in IFX journal also, combining one picture or one figure. Basically, sometimes some journal, they have a figure restriction. Maybe particularly communication type of journal, they have a figure restriction that you can use only 4 figures, but you have a lot of information. Then how you can implement all these things together, or how you add all these things together in one. Basically, you have to go for combination, combining multiple type of chart diagram that together in one data visualization. Like this way, you can find all the information they put together in, even bar chart is there, graphical part also there, even some data also there. This way you can complete your story. Even this one, combining the multiple type of chart, this smartphone application. And this also more or less like poster type of things, and it will visualize easily. Like some of the TOC, table of content, because how you can make table of content. Basically, it will represent the whole manuscript in one single figure. And you can, first you have to understand the things, and you can make the things based on the layman way. And these things also, like you can basically, we normally watching some of the movies, right? But movie when released, the first time they I think before 1 month or 2 months before, they started showing some trailer. What is that? Trailer basically giving some advertisement of particular movie, right? Based on that, who is the main hero, and that same manner, particularly graphical abstract TOC also help you to giving the advertisement of your particular work. That's why you have to give more importance on table of content or other part. Maximum time table of content or graphical abstract, when that particular journal asks you to submit a table of content, we basically copy one of the figure and paste it there. That is maximum time is our mistake. We should not do it. We have to create, we have to make a separate table of content or graphical abstract. And that graphical abstract represent that work in more precisely and clearly. It will increase the clarity. Then sustainable, particularly that data visualization, you can make a story also, that particularly like one movie basically based on some stories, right? Similarly, your manuscript also tells a story based on your experimentation, experimental data or your observation. You can make a good story based on that, and you can represent like how you start that one. In like several movie, they have certain trend, like some director, basically they start their movie with some suspense. Some director, they can start the movie initially start with telling some story, and some movie you can see up to end their suspense are there, and finally they solve it. Similarly, paper writing is up to you how you tell the story. Based on that, you can arrange a sequential way or you can put the third part one, but you have to correlate everything in logical way. Like this is also particularly my research area. If I represent in very short form, basically I work in the photocatalysis, then electrolyzer, then electrochemical oxygen reduction reaction, these things. Here, basically, this is the CO2 reduction process. These are the CO2 emitted from that side. There is a photocatalyst. It will, in presence of solar light, convert the solar fuel. Like overall expression is like that. Is a photocatalytic reduction we can do, or photoelectrochemical way we can do. Similarly, electrolyzer basically generate the hydrogen from the water molecule, and same time it will generate the oxygen. And that hydrogen we can use in the fuel cell, in the PEM fuel cell, and some of the catalyst we can put if like this way you can tell the whole story. And in conclusion, basically, I want to emphasize that unpublished work is lost and properly communication science takes effort. A simple writing style is best option. Optimize your content for internet use. Peer review is not a perfect, but is the best we have. Nowadays, double slide blind options also there, that reviewer also don't know that who you are submitting. Particularly the author name should not be reflected there. Then basically sometimes what happens, if reviewer know about you, then they easily identify that you are a big shot or something. Then there are certain bias. To avoid those things, some high impact journal, they started that double blind reference review process. And then competition, the submitting manuscript to high impact journal is highly competitive, and I can say is also hard, but it's not difficult. And so make your work to reach that level and take an active role in promoting your work towards the higher impact. Basically, I give you my own experience. Basically, I was working another place. There, actually, one of my colleagues, basically, he did on some carbon nanotube work. I think 2007 he did, and he submitted into ACS Nano 2007. That was really good, but somehow that particular journal, that paper went for a review, and after review, their editor rejected that paper, and with some comments also. And that particular guy, he worked out all the comment, and he, based on those comments, he solved and he modified his paper, completely modified. And after modification, even his supervisor basically suggested him to go for some lower journal. But that time he understood, or he has certain confidence on that his own work. He suggests his particular professor that we should submit it in Nature Materials. And there are some argument, there was some argument with that particular professor that no, we should not submit because your paper already rejected from ACS Nano. We should not submit it for Nature Materials. But somehow he convinced and he submitted that. And magical things happened. After 1 month, that paper was accepted by Nature Materials. That's why nothing is dead. That this is my conclusion. Nothing is dead or nothing is late. Anytime you can improve your paper, but intention should be positive. Yeah, thank you.
Excuse me. Wow, what a nice presentation. I myself got to know a lot of things about publishing in high impact factor journals like extracting, graphical extracting, table of contents. Thank you, Dr. Sean. Before I ask any questions, I would like the audience to pose some questions. You can unmute yourself and ask a few questions. Ruchita ma'am, you can ask Dr. Sean your question, please.
Thank you, Raghu. Thank you, sir, for a wonderful, very interesting lecture actually. There are a couple of questions I would like to ask. While explaining characteristics of research questions, if you have explained that first you have to develop a question, research question, and there are few characteristics of research questions in that complex and arguable. This is one of the points you have mentioned. If possible, if you can explain what does it mean, and how a research question should be complex and arguable both. And then you have also mentioned that this scientific misconduct can lead a negative impact on editor. So, what is the scientific misconduct? What are the things which comes under scientific misconduct?
Okay, I think Kiran, can you narrate this one? Few points I missed because of sound distraction. That one, can you narrate that question?
Yeah. The second question was you mentioned about scientific misconduct. What comes under scientific misconduct?
Okay,
you can answer this first.
Okay, this is the most important part. The high impact journal they're looking for. Scientific misconduct means sometimes we overjudge our data. Then sometimes we manipulate our data and wrong interpretation. Sometimes we can what do we say? Additional explanation we should avoid. And another thing is the misleading because some conclusion is there. You should not mislead that. And proper citation. Another is a proper citation. Suppose you observe something, you try to correlate with the existing publication things and you try to explain that so and so people they observe similar things. If your things is new, that's also okay, but you try to correlate with other scientific because it will be more logical. They basically want to see that how you explain your data, how logical contents are there, and how you can correlate your things with the previous literature reports. That's why you have to do it.
Dr. Ruchita, can you ask the first question again, please? I forgot.
Yes,
I think she asked about the research questions, right?
Yeah. So actually, I have asked you when you have explained characteristics of research question, you have mentioned one point. The question must be complex and arguable. So, if you can explain briefly what is complex and arguable research question.
Okay. Yeah, it's also a good thing. Basically, whenever you start any subject research, you can ask a question that why you are doing. Then obviously, maybe your colleague might be criticize you. Okay, that's why that part, because arguable means someone should be criticized that, okay, this is not possible. Then your answer should be there. Okay, no, these things we can reach based on this way. These things should be arguable. It's not like whatever you suggest is the dead end. Because sometimes what happens, if it is arguable, then you might be starting one question. Then finally, after group discussion or panel discussion, you can get a better question also. And that better question give you the bigger solution instead of a smaller solution. That's why your question should be arguable and it should be reach out the bigger scientific community.
Okay, ma'am. I think there is satisfactory to you.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions, please?